You can see it?
Yeah, it looks like an anaconda with a spot.
Deep in the heart of the Amazon basin, danger lurks behind every tangled root and murky river bend.
Just a couple of days ago, they spotted a very big anaconda, coiled round a tree.
Strange calls echo through the canopy, and the waters ripple with unseen threats. Here, survival is a daily battle, and the creatures that thrive are as beautiful as they are deadly. Ready for a chilling journey through this untamed realm? We're about to explore true stories of terrifying animals that have proven time and again that they rule the Amazon.
That piranha is really very distinctive, very dark in color, but it has these incredible...
Some are hidden giants, others are sly hunters, but all are masters of this wild domain.
Right there is probably the most venomous spider in the world.
Let's enter the green darkness and discover how the fiercest beasts here earned their fearsome reputations.
Or the banana spider. And they've got a horrible, horrible reputation, and with very good reason.
The green anaconda, the legendary constrictor. Deep in the flooded forests near the banks of the Rio Negro, there's a local tale of a fisherman who stumbled upon a resting giant anaconda in 2016. He was searching for turtle eggs along the shoreline when he noticed an immense shape curled among the roots. This snake, exceeding 20 feet, eyed him with a cold, steady gaze. In a flash, it slithered into the water, its movement both graceful and terrifying. He scrambled onto his boat, heart pounding, but curiosity got the best of him. He tried to capture footage, only to watch the snake circle back, flicking its muscular body in warning. That single close call reminded everyone that beneath the water's surface, a patient, silent ruler may be waiting. Arapaima, the air-breathing powerhouse. In 2015, a fisherman casting his net near the Amazon riverbank was struck by an unseen force. His tiny canoe shook as though something huge was beneath him. An arapaima, one of the largest freshwater fish on Earth, had whipped its powerful tail. These giants can exceed 400 pounds and must surface to gulp air, an unusual trait that makes them appear like prehistoric beasts. Locals have long respected their might. One well-documented incident involved a scientist who tried to lift a mid-sized arapaima for research. The fish thrashed, slamming him against the side of the boat, leaving him bruised and breathless. In Amazonian waters, this living relic is revered as a reminder that size and strength can topple even the most prepared among us. Black Caiman, stalker of the night. In 2017, a small group of tourists ventured out on a guided nighttime canoe trip along a remote Amazon tributary. Silent waters reflected the moonlight until one boat abruptly rocked. The guide shone his flashlight. A massive black caiman, eyes glinting red, had brushed the canoe's hull. Panic rose as its immense form surfaced, stretching over 15 feet. The group slowly retreated, hearts thumping, aware that this reptile could lunge with startling speed. Local records hold a chilling case of a child taken from a riverbank by a black caiman in a 2008 tragedy. Although attacks are uncommon, no one forgets that this stealthy creature prowls the waters, always poised to show why it's a top predator in the Amazon realm. Giant otters, cooperative hunters. In 2013, park rangers monitoring wildlife along the Madre de Dios River witnessed an astonishing scene. A pack of giant otters surrounding a small caiman. Working in perfect unison, they coordinated their attacks from multiple angles. These otters, nearly 6 feet long, are fiercely protective of one another. One member launched itself onto the reptile's back, while another distracted its jaws. The struggle ended quickly, and the otters celebrated by chirping and squealing a hauntingly triumphant chorus. Tourists often assume otters are playful and harmless, but if threatened, they've been known to show ferocious aggression even toward curious humans wading near their dens. This rare footage confirmed that beneath their fluffy appearance, giant otters have all the cunning and power of apex predators. Red-bellied piranhas, feeding frenzy. A scorching day in 2012 saw a boat accident along a small tributary of the Amazon. Several people, thrown overboard, splashed amid broken debris. Amid the chaos, a telltale swirl rippled the water. Red-bellied piranhas, drawn by the commotion, began schooling near the wreckage. Panicked survivors scrambled for anything to float on. A few swimmers sustained deep bites as these fish took advantage of wounded prey. Though fatal piranha attacks on healthy adults are extremely rare, locals remember smaller tragedies, such as an unattended child who wandered too far into a lagoon and was found with severe injuries. These incidents remind everyone that in the Amazon's watery domain, even small predators can become a sudden threat when desperation or hunger leads to a feeding frenzy. Jaguars, shadows of the rainforest. Late one evening in 2019, a wildlife photographer stationed near the Pantanal, a region spanning parts of the Amazon basin, was capturing images of nocturnal creatures. Then, under the flickering light of her camp lantern, she glimpsed a jaguar gliding through the undergrowth. Moments later, a startled caiman by the water's edge let out a hiss before the cat's muscular jaws clamped around its skull. Jaguars are known for their crushing bite, able to pierce turtle shells and thick hides. In this particular instance, the jaguar dragged its prey back into the jungle with fluid, almost eerie ease. Witnessing this apex predator in action is a stark reminder. In the Amazon, the jaguar reigns as a silent assassin who demands both respect and distance. Brazilian wandering spider, eight-legged nightmare. One humid night in 2014, a researcher near Manaus entered his tent and felt a sting on his hand. Shining his flashlight, he saw a Brazilian wandering spider skitter away. This species is famed for being highly venomous, sometimes called the banana spider, due to frequent sightings in fruit shipments. The researcher's hand swelled and intense pain spread rapidly. Quick medical treatment saved him from more severe symptoms like muscle spasms and difficulty breathing. Locals often share stories of these agile arachnids crawling into shoes or clothing. While fatalities are rare with modern medicine, the venom's potency is legendary. Seeing one scuttle across a campsite floor can send even the bravest souls into a panic, reminding us that small foes can pack lethal power. Giant Amazonian centipede, nocturnal terror. In a remote corner of the rainforest in 2016, a group of biologists researching amphibians heard a scream from one of their team members. Racing to the source, they found a giant Amazonian centipede clinging to the researcher's boot, having latched onto her ankle. These formidable arthropods, reaching over a foot in length, possess venom strong enough to subdue not just insects, but also small birds and rodents. The quick-thinking team carefully dislodged the centipede using a stick, and the victim received first aid for the painful bite. Though she recovered, her account of the centipede's speed and determination became an unforgettable cautionary tale. In the Amazon's damp undergrowth, this many-legged hunter waits, ever ready to strike with sudden and unsettling ferocity. Electric EEL, shocking encounters. In 2009, a local farmer in the lowlands of Venezuela's Orinoco River Basin, which overlaps with parts of the Amazon ecosystem, tried to retrieve his wandering horse from a shallow, muddy bank. Suddenly, the animal collapsed, and the man jolted back as if struck by lightning. An electric eel had unleashed a powerful surge, potentially exceeding 600 volts. The horse recovered after several tense minutes, staggering away from the danger zone. Electric eels use their jolts to stun fish and defend themselves against predators, but they can also injure larger creatures, including people, who wade into their domain. This incident underscores how one touch of the eel's hidden power can be enough to knock a creature off its feet in the blink of an eye. Poison dart frogs, tiny toxic threats. Deep within the humid Peruvian Amazon in 2018, a team of eco-tourists followed a guide pointing out vibrant wildlife. A brilliant yellow poison dart frog hopped across a mossy log. Although these frogs rarely attack and prefer to flee, the guide warned of a tragic past incident when a curious child picked one up. The frog's potent skin secretions spread into a small cut, resulting in breathing problems and hospitalization. Traditionally, indigenous hunters have used poison dart frog toxins on their blowgun darts, a testament to just how lethal these amphibians can be. Their dazzling hues may tempt the unaware, but one brush of these colorful assassins serves as a clear lesson. The smallest creatures often carry the deadliest defenses. Bull shark, unexpected freshwater invader. In 2014, locals near Iquitos, Peru, reported a peculiar predator in the muddy waters, a bull shark, far from its usual coastal habitat. Fishermen recognized the broad, blunt snout cutting through the current. Days later, a startled villager recounted a close call. While bathing, he felt something ram his leg with surprising force. Bull sharks are known for tolerating fresh water and have been documented traveling astonishing distances up the Amazon. Though direct attacks are rare, these formidable hunters come with powerful jaws that can snap through bone. The incident became an instant legend among the river communities. It served as a stark reminder that the ocean's deadliest can sometimes intrude far upriver, carrying all their fierce reputation with them. Goliath bird-eater tarantula, the hairy giant. In 2014, entomologist Piotr Naskrecki made headlines after encountering a Goliath bird-eater in Guyana's rainforest, a region connected to the Amazon biome. This tarantula, the size of a dinner plate, approached with a quiet, methodical stride. Its legs were thick as a child's finger, and it rubbed them together to release clouds of irritating hairs. Though its bite is rarely fatal to humans, it can cause intense pain, swelling, and even heart-pounding fear for those unprepared. Naskrecki described the eerie sensation of hearing the spider's rustling limbs scraping the forest floor. The creature's sheer size and spooky presence highlight the Amazon's capacity to produce giants that challenge our perceptions of how big and unnerving an arthropod can become. Candiru, the nightmare parasite. Perhaps the most infamous tale of the Amazon emerged in 1997 when a man claimed a candiru fish invaded his body after he urinated in the river. Though rare and debated, doctors did perform surgery to remove a small fish from his urethra. The candiru, a tiny catfish, is known to follow chemical cues from gill excretions and occasionally latch onto unsuspecting hosts. Skeptics argue over the details of this case, but candiru have been documented to parasitize larger fish by lodging themselves in gills, feeding on blood. True or not, the persistent legend has created a near-universal caution among swimmers. It's a testament to how even the smallest creatures in the Amazon can terrify and captivate with their bizarre life strategies. Bullet ant, the sting of legend. In 2012, a visiting journalist embedded with the Sateremawe tribe in Brazil to witness the ritual in which young men prove their bravery. They thrust their hands into woven gloves filled with dozens of bullet ants, known for delivering what some call the most painful insect sting on Earth. The stings cause excruciating pain, lasting up to 24 hours. The journalist later described waves of agony and tremors running through his arms. While bullet ants rarely attack unprovoked, they're fiercely protective of their nests. Their hallmark venom contains a neurotoxin that makes each sting a lesson in endurance. For travelers and researchers, stepping carelessly on one of these ants is an instant ticket to understanding why it's named for the feeling of being shot. Pacu fish, the mystery biter. In 2011, 2 swimmers in a Brazilian river near the border of the Amazon complained of sharp bites that tore at their hands. Rumors circulated that these injuries came from pacu, a relative of the piranha with human-like teeth. While the pacu primarily feeds on nuts and fruits, there have been scattered reports of them biting swimmers, possibly mistaking fingers or toes for floating seeds. A local fisherman recounted how one pacu snapped onto his finger, drawing blood before releasing him. Though these fish lack the piranha's notorious aggression, their powerful jaws can still inflict real damage. That day's unusual bites fueled talk of the nutcracker fish, proving the Amazon's inhabitants can surprise us in ways that defy their usual behavior. Bushmaster snake, ambush in the leaf litter. In a remote jungle camp in 2018, a herpetologist carefully flipped rotting logs in search of reptiles when she nearly stepped on a massive bushmaster snake. Known as the largest pit viper in the Americas, bushmasters can measure over 8 feet long. The snake coiled, blending seamlessly into the leaf litter, then gave a low hiss. One documented bite from the 1970s left a seasoned guide near death due to intense hemorrhaging and swelling. Modern antivenoms improve survival, but the bushmaster's venom remains a grave threat. The herpetologist froze, calmly backed away, and watched in awe as the snake slithered off. Though typically reclusive, this shadowy serpent proves that in the Amazon, lethal encounters can unfold in the blink of an eye. Harpy eagle, rainforest raptor. In 2017, villagers in a remote Peruvian settlement found feathers and bits of monkey remains beneath a towering tree. A harpy eagle had been nesting above. These impressive raptors, with talons the size of a grizzly bear's claws, are apex predators of the sky. One startled hiker once witnessed a harpy eagle swoop down to snatch a sloth from a branch, carrying it off with minimal effort. Though not typically a threat to humans, their size and power are extraordinary. Their wingspan can exceed 6 feet, allowing them to maneuver swiftly through dense forest canopy. For local children, bedtime tales of the harpy eagle teach respect for the jungle's aerial hunters. If you hear the rush of massive wings, you might be witnessing one of the Amazon's most formidable avian rulers. Amazonian giant leaf frog, a toxin defense. In 2014, researchers studying amphibians in Colombia's Amazon region found a giant leaf frog near a flooded forest trail. Curious, a student delicately touched its back. Instantly, her hand began to itch fiercely, then her eyes watered from contact with the frog's secretions. Giant leaf frogs release a milky toxin that can irritate predators and deter them from biting. Although less dangerous than a poison dart frog, their potent skin can still cause swelling and discomfort. The student, guided by local knowledge, rinsed her hands in running water and avoided rubbing her eyes. This minor incident became a cautionary example. The Amazon houses countless amphibians whose chemical defenses, while not always lethal, still command caution among those who explore their habitat. Giant river turtle, protective and powerful. One early morning in 2019, conservation volunteers worked on a sandy riverbank, tagging newly hatched giant river turtles. Suddenly, a massive adult female, possibly 4 feet long, emerged from the water with surprising speed. Attempting to protect her nest, she lunged at a volunteer's leg. Though uninjured, he stumbled back in shock at the turtle's sheer strength. These ancient reptiles, known to gather in large groups for nesting, possess strong jaws and a protective instinct that can be startling. Their thick shells might appear cumbersome, but if threatened, they can deliver a forceful bite. Witnessing this mother's maternal defense, revealed another truth about the Amazon. Even seemingly gentle herbivores can become formidable opponents when safeguarding their future generations. Orinoco crocodile, rare but deadly. Though primarily native to the Orinoco Basin, Orinoco crocodiles occasionally overlap with parts of the Amazon region through connected waterways. In 2015, a fisherman reported encountering one near the Casiquiare Canal. Upon spotting the telltale narrow snout, he kept his distance. A tragic event in 2009 involved a local who didn't see the crocodile lurking near a shallow bank. He was pulled under, never to resurface. Though this species is critically endangered and rarely spotted, such incidents underscore its lethal prowess. Experts say Orinoco crocodiles can exceed 15 feet, and their capacity to ambush unsuspecting prey is legendary. Whenever these reptiles appear in Amazonia's connected rivers, it's a sobering reminder that hidden hunters prowl waters many assume are safe. Giant sea snake, migration, rare appearance. The so-called sea snake sightings in freshwater are extremely uncommon, yet in 2014, local rumors spread of a large serpentine creature surfacing in the lower Amazon's brackish zones. One fisherman claimed he saw a huge water snake with a paddle-like tail. Experts suggest it might have been a marine snake washed in by tidal currents. While no official capture was made, the frightened reaction from locals was telling. Venomous sea snakes rarely venture into fresh water, but some species can tolerate brackish conditions. Any such appearance triggers alarm, for these snakes possess potent neurotoxins. Even if the 2014 sighting remains unconfirmed, it highlights an unsettling possibility. The Amazon's open corridors to the ocean can invite occasional guests with venom potent enough to kill. Fer-de-Lance viper, the sudden strike. In 2011, a seasoned tour guide leading a small group along an overgrown trail near the Amazon's edge felt a sting on his calf. Looking down, he saw a Fer-de-Lance viper coiled, fangs bared. Known locally as bothrops, this snake accounts for many serious snake bites in South America. Its camouflage blends perfectly with leaf litter, and it strikes swiftly when threatened. The guide's leg began to swell, and sharp pain set in. Thanks to quick evacuation and anti-venom, he survived, but the scar left an enduring message. Fer-de-Lance encounters can happen with no warning, and their hemotoxic venom can lead to tissue damage and internal bleeding. Respecting the forest floor is essential, as a single misstep can bring a swift and venomous reprisal. Amazonian bullfrog, aggressive croak. In 2016, campers near Leticia, Colombia, encountered a booming chorus of calls at dusk. The source? A cluster of Amazonian bullfrogs defending territory by the water's edge. These frogs can grow larger than a person's outstretched hand, and they aren't shy about snapping at potential threats. One camper tried to pick one up for a closer look, only to get a sharp nip on the finger. Though not venomous, their strong jaws left a neat row of bruises. Locals have found them devouring smaller frogs, insects, and even small snakes with alarming gusto. Their mighty croaks echo through the forest at night, a resonating reminder that in the Amazon, even amphibians can display fierce territorial behavior when confronted. Amazon tree, boa, nighttime intruder. In 2020, a researcher stationed at a remote canopy platform awoke to a scaly surprise. An Amazon tree boa coiled around a supply box. Drawn by small bats and birds nesting near the platform's railing, the snake had slithered in silently. Tree boas are non-venomous, but can deliver a painful bite, especially if startled. The researcher stayed motionless as the serpent flicked its tongue, tasting the air. Eventually, the boa loosened its grip and vanished into the canopy, leaving only a faint rustle of leaves behind. A field assistant later recalled a friend who needed stitches after an accidental run-in with one. Though they're not typically life-threatening, these agile snakes can show up where least expected, reminding everyone that the rainforest never truly sleeps. From the silent snakes to the relentless predators, the Amazon remains a living tapestry of beauty and danger, interwoven. Each encounter is a powerful lesson in respect for this wild domain. Thanks for watching.